Good morning. Welcome to the DFS Army YouTube channel. I am Razzle11, and you can find me on Twitter at Razzle11Grinds. You can take a look at some pitching for today, the 7th of July. I believe it's Friday. I think we have a 12-game main slate. No real weather issues. So it looks like just a normal slate of action this evening. At first glance, there's going to be some pitching options for us to use tonight. So we'll try to dig in here. Remember, this is kind of a first look at the pitching. My final thoughts and pool and everything uh, gets out to the DFS Army members later this afternoon. Once I've had a chance to dig into some numbers and see opposing lineups. But let's get started here at the top. Uh, at the top, we have one of my favorite situations in baseball: a left-handed pitcher taking on the Milwaukee Brewers. Abbott and the Reds are a slight underdog, Milwaukee being a minus 125 favorite. But Abbott has been phenomenal. Uh, Averaging 10 strikeouts per start over the last three starts. The fact that he's the most expensive pitcher is kind of mind blowing, but he's just been great. Um, I know people make fun of the idea of regression. At some point, there's going to be some home run to fly ball issues. He's allowing a ton of fly balls to go with his strikeouts. Uh, Strikeouts are great. Fly balls can be easy outs, but when he's not 100% sharp, fly balls turn into three home run games like this Colorado start. Uh, he just was able to get away with it by not walking many people or allowing any other hits, really. So three solo home runs and then 10 strikeouts. I think I would gladly take that anytime. So Abbott's certainly going to be in my pool because I just love picking on the Brewers with left-handed pitching. Zach Gallen at home, spot for me that I am all about. Uh, Pittsburgh lit him up in Pittsburgh earlier. He went through a little rough stretch, uh, where he struggled a little bit, more walks, less strikeouts. Uh, but he's back on his abilities coming off a 12 strikeout game. Did allow 4 runs, but still 12 strikeouts. And without the win, still managed 28 DK points. That tells you kind of all we really need to know. Zach Gallen, upside to over 40 this season already. I am all about Zach Gallen again, and the fact that he's under 10K and the second highest priced pitcher, sign me up all day, every day. Luis Castillo, going back to Gallen, he is a minus 210 favorite. Luis Castillo versus Hunter Brown. Houston is a minus 120 favorite. Very interesting pitching matchup. Uh, I don't mind Castillo. I'm just not in love with him. He's allowing a lot of home runs right now. Runs are happening, home runs. Strikeouts can still be there, but there are some walk issues here and there. Houston did some damage against him the first time they faced him. He has not been as strong on the road. A couple key metrics for me. Recent trends just aren't super strong, but he's always in play. I just think on this slate, with more and more options, I think he's kind of a borderline pitcher pool play for me, where I wouldn't be shocked if he just doesn't make my pool. Uh, Mainly because I would just much rather play Zach Gallen for 200 more. Hunter Brown, like I mentioned, Houston is a minus 120 favorite. Overall, hasn't been as sharp at home, other than he just doesn't allow home runs really at home. He's coming off of a rough start against Texas, allowing 10 hits. Uh, but similar to why we played Blanco at DFS Army last night, the K upside is there in this matchup. Seattle striking out a ton. Blanco struck out 9 in 6 innings. I love the upside spot for Brown in this one. So he is definitely ahead of Luis Castillo, and he most likely makes my pitcher pool. We'll see as it finalizes, of course. Carlos Rodon being activated from the 60-day. Very interesting option. As a minus 170 favorite, uh, I just don't know if we can go there at 9,100. Uh, as we see, his final rehab start was just 58 pitches. Um, so I would guess he's probably capped around the 70 to 75 mark. If that's the case, I'm just not sure. I can go there. Some of it is because he throws a lot of pitches trying to get strikeouts. There are some walk issues. Um, there's a chance that his outing is just 4 innings long. Uh, I'm just not going to pay this much for a capped outing, uh, even though I'm really intrigued to see how he performs in his return, because it just adds another really strong high upside pitcher to our pool for the second half of the season. Corbin Burns is favored against the Reds. He was solid against them in the one start. The walks were an issue. Hasn't been as strong at home. Uh, I'm intrigued. I actually put him above, Luis Castillo right now, but he just isn't somebody that I've wanted to use now because he just doesn't look the same. Um, so he's going to be a borderline play initially today, uh, and I wouldn't be shocked if he moves outside of my pool. Yu Darvish, coming off of an illness that had his spot skipped, struggled with the Mets earlier this season, but he's been a far better pitcher at home. Mets just exploded for a bunch of runs last night, so there's some worries there. Uh, I think initially I'm intrigued by the upside, but I might not be on Yu Darvish. I'm not really sure what this illness was, but it was strong enough to knock him out of the rotation for one trip around. They kept pushing him back. He just wasn't able to make it. So, not really sure what to expect out of him. Verlander has been pretty bad on the road. A couple really strong starts in a row, but both were at home. Hasn't really shown K upside much. Uh, it's kind of worrisome there. Vegas Padres are minus 130 favorite. I would probably say right now that Verlander is on the outside looking in from my player pool. Dylan Cease is going to be in my pool. Getting him at 8,500 with the upside that he offers, I am very interested. Obviously, we know how rough he was for a big stretch of the season, but 4 of his last 5 starts have been basically 22 plus DK points. Coming off of a not so good start against Oakland, which is fine. His overall numbers have been better at home. His K rate is a little lower at home. Um, St. Louis does have a dangerous offense, but they just are struggling overall. I like Cease quite a bit. The game's a coin flip right now. Um, so I think both pitchers are in play. He and Jordan Montgomery. I'll bounce down to Montgomery. Looked at this earlier. He's been throwing the ball really well. He just doesn't have the K upside that a Cease does, but he also is facing the weaker of the two lineups, in my opinion. So because of that, both of them are going to be in play for me. I just prefer Cease's upside to Montgomery. Tony Gonsolin, I don't think I'm going to go there, but it depends on what kind of Angels lineup we get with all their injuries and all the issues. If we get a super watered down Angels lineup, I think I'll be intrigued enough for GPP purposes, but uh, it's very much a wait and see with Gonsolin just because I don't really love his pure upside overall. He's a minus 178 favorite, but I just don't think we need to go there. I think we can get there with, or get the same kind of return from other options. So I'm going to jump past him. Ober and the Twins are a minus 160 favorite after Baltimore blew up against the Yankees. Uh, that intrigues me. He absolutely dominated Baltimore. Uh, that wasn't his last start, and I generally hate seeing a pitcher face the team twice in a row. But he's been really good. So I think I have to consider him. But the Baltimore squad just, the game they put up last night against Severino is stuck in my mind. Uh, I'm going to have to dig in a little more as the day goes on. Aaron Savali hasn't been as great at home, but taking on such a weak Royals team, he's a minus 195 favorite. Uh, I think I'd rather play Ober, but some of it is the fact that he just doesn't have a ton of K upside, and there's walk issues, right? Like if he's not getting Ks to offset the walks, uh, his DK fantasy point upside is just capped so much that I just don't know, um, you know, if I want to go there. So I'll kind of see how it breaks down. But right now, I would say I'd rather just go with Ober and Montgomery than Savali. Uh, Kind of going down the list, there isn't really a whole lot down here to like. Um, I initially thought in my head Daniel Lynch just because I have the soft spot since he helped me win the 50K. Um, but I just don't think I can go there against Cleveland. Strikeouts just aren't necessarily there. Um, Definitely not Trevor Williams against Texas. Uh, maybe I can go to Bradford. I just don't know. Washington doesn't strike out a ton, but Bradford came in relief against Detroit and just racked up strikeouts. Uh, I rarely. I'm very anti just punting pitcher, uh, unless we get a min-priced guy who can go for 16, which is certainly possible. He could go for more. If we get this kind of performance through 5 innings, like he did against Detroit, and picks up the win, we're talking about 22-ish DK points, which would be huge out of that 4K. So really, it's just the min price guys if I'm going to punt pitcher, but I still need you know mid teens as far as a return. So there we have it. There's the look at the pitching for today. If you enjoy what I bring to you, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn the notification bell on to get the alert anytime that we drop videos here at DFS Army. And if you want to join us, I will put links in the description below. You can use promo code RAZ, it's RAZ, for 10% off monthly, or Summer50 for 50% off the first month, I believe is still active. And as always, best of luck, everybody.